In the headlines, troop neutralize terrorists, recover arms and ammunition in Borno. 6 Ebonyi health workers arrested for alleged theft. Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 3.46% in Q3 2024. And on the foreign scene, 6 children, 2 women die in Greece migrant shipwreck. Hello, welcome to News Update on Trust Television. My name is Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. Troops of Sector 3 under the multinational Joint Task Force have executed a decisive operation against Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists in Kukawa and Mongono local government areas of Borno State. The operation, which resulted in the elimination of several terrorists and the recovery of critical assets, took place in northern Borno. In a press statement on Monday, Lieutenant Colonel Olani Osoba, Chief Military Information Officer at MNJTF headquarters in N'Djamena, Chad, said the operation resulted in the elimination of terrorists and the recovery of valuable assets. He said the terrorists, who launched an offensive using suicide vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices, were met with superior firepower from MNJTF troops. According to Osoba, following intense air and artillery bombardments and ground assault, 5 terrorists were neutralized while several others fled with gunshot wounds. The Nigerian Air Force (NAF) has confirmed the destruction of a terrorist food bank in the Jubilaram area of the Lake Chad Basin by the air component of Operation Hadinkai. NAF's Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Olushola Akimboyewa, said the airstrike also led to the destruction of terrorist logistical operations. He added that several terrorists were neutralized in the strikes. In a statement he signed, Akimboyewa said intelligence previously linked terrorists in the area to past attacks on troops in Kareto on 16 November 2024. NAF assured that it will sustain these robust independent and joint operations until all enemies of Nigeria's prosperity and well-being are brought to justice. Still on insecurity, a victim of kidnapping for ransom has reportedly succumbed to injuries while receiving medical treatment following gunshot wounds by armed bandits in Jibia local government area of Katsina State. The deceased was among 2 rescued victims who had suffered gunshot injuries and were rushed to the hospital for immediate medical attention by the police in the state. The incident occurred on Sunday evening after suspected armed bandits attacked 2 commercial vehicles at Danaro village along Magama-Jibia Road in Jibia local government in an attempt to kidnap the occupants. In response, the divisional police officer in charge of the Jibia led a team of operatives to the scene and engaged the hoodlums in a fierce gun duel. The spokesman of the Katsina State Police Command, ASP Abubakar Siddiq, in a statement on Monday, said the DPO-led team successfully fought the kidnapping attempt and rescued 14 victims. Although efforts are ongoing to apprehend the fleeing suspect, the Commissioner of Police in the state, CP Aliyu Musa, urged members of the public with useful information on suspected criminal activities to promptly report to the nearest police station. One person was injured and a van razed when gunmen attacked members of the Anambra State Vigilantes of Umuchu extraction around Ames Uga Road. Police authorities said the vigilantes were attacked on Sunday, leading to injury. According to the police, the Joint Security Forces quickly rushed the victim to the hospital where he is currently responding to treatment and activated intelligence information-led patrols in the area to deny the criminals a chance to wreak havoc. The command spokesperson Tochukwu Ikenga added that during the gun duel, bullets hit the fuel tank of Toyota Frontier van, resulting in a fire incident that razed the van. Meanwhile, police operatives of the Okpoko Divisional Headquarters of Anambra State Police Command have prevented hoodlums from taking advantage of a fire outbreak at Chukunonso Street along Obododoku Road, Okpoko. Ikenga said police operatives condoned off the scene of the incident to prevent hoodlums from taking undue advantage of the situation to loot properties and goods of individuals. It said the swift response of the fire service operatives brought the situation under control adding that the command has, however, begun an investigation into the cause of the fire incident to avert future occurrences. The recent floods in Borno state of northeastern Nigeria impacted heavily on Jere local government, which hosts a rice bowl which exports rice to neighboring states and within Borno. The floods destroyed rice farm fields, leaving hundreds of farmers counting their losses and causing prices of food to increase in the community. Beatrice Curity tells us more.
It's a 10-kilometer drive from Maiduguri to Zabarmari, a local government under Jere with a population of more than 40,000. The community was expecting to contribute largely to this year's rice output in Nigeria until the September floods swept through Zabarmari and destroyed farmlands. Rabiu Isa, a resident, is among hundreds of farmers whose 1 hectare of rice farm went with the water. It was the worst experience he had ever had.
Gaskiya a duk shekara ina noman shinkafa na kai shekara ta fi karfin 15 dan ko da tashi gidanmu ma naga suna yi.
I've been farming for more than 15 years. Some years I harvest 30 bags, and when the season is good, I get 50 bags. But today, I can't boast of a single measure from what is left in the farm. And I can't do without support. If the government will support me, I will be happy.
Sannan kuma mun samu nikasu akan wani bangare na sashen garin ma inda ruwan ya zo ya rusa.
Those I know who harvest 500 to 100 bags got only 2 bags, and some of us collected loans and invested into the rice farming. With what has happened, can you explain to the borrower the devastation that occurred? How will you feel if you were the one? We need the government to intervene with any support. We need support such as fertilizer, insecticides, water pump machines. If we get this support, believe me, we will shock the country because we will produce perishable crops and fruits competitive to any non-state. The floods impacted residents of Jere negatively. The immediate after effect was the skyrocketing price of rice and other food commodities which residents could barely afford.
Da Allah ya kaddara wannan ambaliyan bai banna ba da farashin shinkafa nan zai zama 3,500.
Before now, a measure of rice cost 3,000 naira, but now it's sell 4,500 naira. A bag cost 70,000. If it was not for the flood, it would go for 50,000 naira.
Shinkafa a Zabarmari kyauta ma ana bayarwa.
Before, it was very affordable, and we even give free to customers because it was so abundant. But now the market is empty. Everyone knows that it was not always like this in the months of November and December. It's a difficult life for me and my family. Things are not easy like years back. We call on the government to do something over the prices of foodstuffs. It's not easy.
In ban manta ba, war haka muna sayan shinkafa a Zabarmari 1,500 2,000.
I recall I often buy rice at 1,500 naira or 1,200 naira for a measure, but now they sell it at 4,500. We are told that it's as a result of the flood that destroyed farmlands. Honestly, I'm not finding it easy. The state government says it is aware of the devastation and the economic implication. The chairman of the Jere local government says those affected by the floods have been identified and support will be provided to recover what was destroyed.
His Excellency is passionate about farming and we are 100% behind him. The local government is 100% in support of all his agricultural transformation agenda, and we'll start identifying the farmers. We have identified it already. We'll start with the disbursement of seedlings and all necessary tube wells will dig tube wells. Some will be done by solar powered tube wells, and some will be given what do you call that, the machines, the water pumps.
Despite what has already happened, Rabiu and his colleagues will only hope that such disaster does not reoccur as they planned for next farming season. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
All right, now the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, and the Nigerian Governors Forum said they would sign a memorandum of understanding to strengthen their collaboration against climate change. A statement by NIMET on Monday said the collaboration is in the interest of Nigeria's continued socio-economic development. Speaking at a meeting at NGF's office in Abuja over the weekend, the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of NIMET, Charles Anosike, said a formal relationship between the NGF and NIMET is in the best interest of the country as it will benefit the people. Anosike said NIMET and NGF believe strongly that something should be done to mitigate the impact of climate change and would sign an MOU to guide their relationship. According to him, weather and climate information are critical to the sustainable development of the economy and of the people, adding that NIMET's seasonal climate prediction is an early warning tool in support of the United Nations Early Warning for All initiative championed by the WMO. On his part, the Director General of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Abdulateef Oti Shitu, said climate change is impacting economic well-being nationally and globally, hence the need to mitigate its impact. The driver of a saloon car on Monday escaped death after a 40-feet loaded container fell onto it at Mile 2 en route to Apapa, Lagos. A statement by the Director, Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, Adebayo Taufik, said the driver was rescued alive through the swift and coordinated response of LASMA and other emergency services, including the Federal Road Safety Corps. Taufik said efforts to evacuate the fallen container are in full swing, while LASMA officers continue to manage the scene to ease traffic congestion and restore normalcy. The General Manager of LASMA, Olalekan Bakare Oki, reiterated the critical importance of proper container securing by truck drivers and owners. He stressed that the negligence in this reward endangers lives and property, urging strict compliance with road safety protocols to avert such catastrophic occurrences. Ebonyi State Governor Francis Nwifuru has ordered the arrest and prosecution of 6 workers at the State Ministry of Health for allegedly diverting materials intended for the State Ministry of Health. During a project inspection, the governor noticed a truck loading registers, books, and other materials from the ministry's warehouse. Not satisfied with the initial explanations, he conducted further inquiries and uncovered that patient data registers, cards, and other documents were being loaded onto the vehicle without authorization. Further investigation revealed that the materials had already been sold without government approval. Governor Nwifuru condemned the act, which he described as a sabotage against the government's efforts to improve the health sector. The suspects have been handed over to the police for further investigation.
We are talking of this. This is the register for antenatal, daily antenatal register. And you decided to sell it. Whereas we don't have one in our primary health care where this is supposed to be. They're using exercise book to write. I have seen it time without number. In our primary health care, and you have the opportunity to be a civil servant. And all these things are in their own custody and they're selling it.
The leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities at Taraba State University has called on the state government to urgently address the welfare of its members following the death of 3 lecturers. The union, which alleged that the 3 lecturers died within 48 hours, said the deaths were due to long-standing neglect and unresolved grievances. ASU TSU Chairman Mbav Joshua Garba made the appeal in a statement shared on his Facebook account. He expressed deep concern over the loss of the 3 lecturers whom he identified as Professor Akporido Samuel, Dr. Kilobas Sha'a, and Malam Ibrahim Salebali. Their untimely death, he claimed, were tied to poor welfare conditions, including unpaid earned academic allowances, unresolved salary backlogs, and the absence of a functional pension scheme. Describing the deceased lecturer as not only professionals but also pillars of their families and mentors to many, he decried the dire competition under which they had to work. He said these contributed to their deaths. This is news update coming to you from Trust Television. Coming up, Bauchi out-of-school children urge government action amid economic hardship. We'll look at that and more right after the break. To stay. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, well, we'll take a look at our top stories again, where we told you that troops neutralize terrorists, recover arms and ammunition in Borno. We also told you that 6 Ebonyi health workers arrested for alleged theft. Now moving on to other stories. Jos residents have criticized the federal and state government's borrowing, claiming it shows no tangible benefits. Their concerns re-echoed ongoing debates across the country following President Tinubu's request to the National Assembly and subsequent approval for fresh loans. Ado Musa completes the report.
Nigeria's national debt has steadily risen due to factors like government spending, revenue challenges, inflation, and exchange rates. Over the years, successive administrations have accumulated debt at an alarming rate, with debt servicing costs skyrocketing and straining the nation's budget. On Thursday, the Senate and House of Representatives approved a $2.2 billion loan request from President Bola Tinubu to boost our finances and support economic reforms. However, residents of Jos argue that the continuous borrowing has yet to produce meaningful results.
Fortunately for us in Nigeria, when we borrow, the bulk of the money goes into recurrent expenditure, and then some government activities that engage people. People just share resources. We borrow and we share, and we send politicians live far on need. We're servicing debts we did. We are all doing things that will not bring anything to the future generation. So
since they said the removal of subsidy would in turn means that the government will have more monies on ground. So since they said we will have more monies on ground, why can't they use what they have in terms of the money in which they remove from subsidy? Because the monies too is in trillions of nairas, and
if the monies were collected and then they are put into projects like, for example, diversifying the economy from just crude oil into agriculture and other sectors that will bring succor to the problems that we are currently facing, especially when it concerns economy, it would have been a welcoming idea. But then we keep collecting money again and again, and we don't see what the monies are used for.
Really, as a Nigerian, I'm not glad, because the debt that has been collected and they are still collecting, we Nigerians, we haven't seen what they are using that money for, because nothing is on ground for Nigerians to say that this is what they are doing. Even if you look at the economic situation, we have food crisis everywhere. People are malnourished. There is no food anywhere. So we don't know this debt they are collecting. What are they really doing with the money?
Dr. Isa Abdullahi, a lecturer in the Department of Economics at the Federal University, Kashiri, stated that while borrowing is not inherently problematic, if funds are used judiciously, Nigeria's current debt profile is deeply concerning.
industrialized economies do have stable electricities, and all stabilized countries electricity-wise are mostly industrialized countries. So if we are doing that for our industries to grow, our economy to develop, then it's worth doing, it's worth taking. But if we are just borrowing money to share among the citizens of the country, that's not the best way to do it. You wait for when you have surplus of income, when you have budget surplus, then you distribute and share money to the citizens of the country. But borrowing is essentially strategic in economic planning. It's essentially capital development oriented. You must have to get a way to use that loan to get a particular project that can pay back the amount of money you've collected. And unfortunately, we have not done that.
According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's public debt stock, comprising both external and domestic debt, has reached approximately 121 trillion naira. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
All right, now moving on. Children in Bauchi State have called on the federal and state governments to come to their aid as the rising cost of living continues to impact their lives. Speaking to Trust TV, many revealed that they have never had access to formal education, highlighting the dire situation they continue to face. Adamu Imam completes the report.
According to recent reports, about 20 million children are out of school in Nigeria. Some of these children have stressed the need for government and other stakeholders to address the enormous challenges faced by the Nigerian child, especially the less privileged ones in the society. I want government to revisit the price of fuel so that the price of foodstuff will come down. And for our teachers, government should pay them well and take good care of their welfare so we can have sound education. I always feel bad when I see my compatriots going to school while I'm not going, so I need to be enrolled in school. My parents are in Katsina State, while my ambition is to become a school teacher as well. I need government to address insecurity so that we have peace in our country. I need current inflation of essential commodity to become history, so we will be able to go to school and have a brighter future. So members of the communities within Bauchi Metropolis say the problems associated with out-of-school children needs a holistic approach.
If the increase of population is larger than the production, there will be a problem. Seriously, there will be a problem. That's why we are in now for it. Most people with money, they don't want to go to farm. And a common man, as long as he gets money, he will add 1, 2 to 3 wives, even some 4. They don't care. All they want to get children. And if you don't change their psychology or his psychology, you will never remove him with this strength. You continue like that.
We are calling on the federal government to look inward and do the needful in addressing the plight of the children. Some are orphans, some with parents, but despite all this, we need government to take a drastic measure through traditional institutions and religious bodies so that it will be a collective effort. Education is a right, not a privilege.
The moment you have a child, it's our responsibility to maintain the child, guide him, put him through, and make sure he did the right thing. If you carry a child, take him to a normal mala, you don't know why even the child is sleeping. What is he eating? How did he survive? Did he take bath? And a lot of things. At least if you arrange with a malam that no, if that malam will be paid, have a certain amount that carry from the parents, then you maintain and take care of your child.
The National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children's Education are urged to, as a matter of urgency, intensify efforts to reduce the number of out-of-school children in the country. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
And now to business. Nigeria's gross domestic product growth rate in real terms grew by 3.46% in the third quarter of 2024 on a year-on-year basis, the National Bureau of Statistics has stated. A statement by the Statistician General of the Federation, Adeyemi Adedeji, said the growth is 0.92 percentage points higher than the rate recorded in quarter 3, 2023, which stood at 2.54%. The statement added that the quarter was higher by 0.27 percentage points relative to the 3.19% recorded in the second quarter of 2024. Now, according to the statement, the major driver of the economy is the services sector, which recorded a growth of 5.19% and contributed 53.58% to the aggregate GDP. It said the economic activities in real terms for quarter 3, 2024 stood at 20.1 trillion naira, which is higher than the rates recorded in the preceding quarter of 2024, which stood at 18.2 trillion naira, and the corresponding third quarter of 2023, which recorded 19.4 trillion naira. Now, away from Nigeria, 8 migrants, 6 of them minors, died on Monday after a boat sank in Aegean Sea, the Greek Coast Guard said. According to the Coast Guard, nearly 40 people had been rescued and a search for survivors was ongoing amid strong winds. The incident occurred north of the island of Samos, a route frequently chosen by people smugglers. Greece has seen a 25% increase this year in the number of people fleeing war and poverty, with a 30% increase alone to Rhodes and the southeast Aegean, according to the Immigration Ministry. Several similar incidents and accidents have occurred in the past weeks, the last in early November when 4 people died near the Rhodes Island. In late October, 2 people died near the island of Samos, while 4 more, including 2 infants, were lost near the island of Kos a few days earlier. With that, we've come to the end of news updates here on Trust TV. Do not forget that you can join our live stream on YouTube or follow us across all our social media platforms for more news, programs, and documentaries. Thank you for watching. My name is Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.